Hello, everyone. I'm Namita Purohit, and it's a very beautiful Sunday morning in India where I am right now. And it's a great pleasure to have a good friend of mine and an accomplished IT executive for the last 25 years, my dear friend Anu Shrivathsa from Dallas. She's raising her beautiful family in Dallas while being a very accomplished leader in the IT field, very empathic, very emotionally evolved, emotionally mature. And there's so much we can learn from her today. It's such a great pleasure to have her. Also, she likes to volunteer as a life coach in her free time. She also coaches and mentors her team members, and she also likes to read the Vedic scriptures very deeply in her free time. And let's have her here. So, hearing all the wisdom around emotional intelligence, the Vedic wisdom that she may talk about today, and how all of that can help people in their leadership. You know how emotionally intelligent leaders can contribute to building better teams and bigger profits. So, welcoming Anuji here, adding her here. Yes.
Hello, Namita ji. Thank you so much for having me here today with you. It's an honor and a pleasure.
So we're talking about something very interesting here. That's talking about emotional intelligence in leadership, and I'm trying to look at what does you have been in the leadership space for the last 25 years, and you have been leading IT teams and doing so much in that space. Now, what does emotional intelligence mean to you, and why do you think it's crucial for effective leadership in today's world?
So, what emotional intelligence means to me, and especially in today's world when we hear a lot about artificial intelligence, which has become mainstream now, emotional intelligence is something which is extremely important. So, how would we define emotional intelligence, right? So, emotional intelligence probably is like a spectrum of skill sets, that is needed for a person to be able to understand oneself better, right? To be able to go dive deeper, understand oneself better, manage their own emotions better. That kind of equips them and empowers them to work with others in a better manner. So basically, emotional intelligence is the range of skill sets a person acquires, which helps him have a better relationship with himself, themselves, and with others as well, right? Now, the importance of emotional intelligence, I personally feel that it's all the more important now in this world of technology, which is truly exploding. What is going to define you, what is going to differentiate you, and what is going to help you stand out and being more, successful is truly that emotional intelligence that's going to make you give you your own USP, the unique selling proposition, actually. So I feel that it's a very, very fundamental, extremely quintessential need of today for everybody, for that matter. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that emotional intelligence is about knowing yourself better. It's not just about understanding. Just understanding emotions is not what emotional intelligence is all about. It's also understanding a lot more. It's a spectrum of skills, and the more you relate and connect with yourself better, the better you are at connecting people, and therefore at serving your teams and the people who report to you, and more so in the digital world where we're so disconnected from nonverbal. We don't
Yes.
see a lot of nonverbal communication. Not able to catch all of that on emails or on team chats and things like that. And that's where a lot more presence, emotional intelligence, presence of mind is needed. Can you share a recent example in your leadership, or from this beautiful career that you have, where emotional intelligence, like you as a leader, has played a pivotal role in resolving some of the difficult problems that people meet every day in a team. Like, or maybe there was a conflict, or maybe there was a misunderstanding, or it probably helped with better project delivery. Any example that comes to your mind so that the audience can get more clarity on this?
Absolutely. There are many situations, that I've faced through the career, for that matter. So what I do is I create vision for organizations for their technology landscape. Kind of helping them adopt new technologies, kind of preparing them for the future, for scale, for growth, and things like that. So when we do that, and also, like a digital coach, I help them through many of their digital transformation projects. So when we do those kind of big projects, they're usually, high profile projects, high budgets, limited resources, crunched timelines, things like that. And we always try to put together high performing teams, right, with the latest and greatest of skill sets. And when you have a lot of different people, who are total technologists, and you want different set of mindsets in order to come up with creative and innovative solutions, right? So diversity is very key. We hear about that a lot, right? So it's very important to put together a diverse set of teams so that you can foster innovation, right? You want to look at various different creative problem solving techniques and things like that. So when you do that, it's very automatic that diversity and conflicts goes hand in hand, because when you're putting people together, different set of people with different outlooks, different mindsets, different thought process, it's really obvious that you're going to face conflicts, right? So many a time, bright minds, brilliant minds, right? When you put together a team of different people, they all come from different thought process or space, and then it's usually conflict is something which is, you can never avoid that. So how do you kind of help the team navigate through that, rise above all of that, and continue to deliver, as needed, and kind of deliver successful projects is always a big challenge. So I have seen many of these projects, and I can specifically remember some wherein when you put together people, you can always kind of see that some are natural givers, and they always give more and more, and some are natural takers. Nothing right or wrong, but that's how it is. Somebody is giving more and more, and then somebody takes it more. And when you keep doing that, and there comes a point where there has to be some sort of balance that needs to happen between the giver and the taker. And at the same time, there are many times we have seen that people start striving for visibility, and people are driven by various different things of success, right? So am I more visible? Am I getting the credit or not? Things like that. So crisis warriorship is something which I have seen through these high profile projects, where people love to create crisis and then solve it, and then try to become more visible through that. And crisis can be really draining for everybody. So already the projects are very, very high tension projects, right? So I've had instances where brilliant people, excellent givers, happen to be crisis warriors. And dealing with a crisis warrior in a team can be really, really tough. It can be difficult for the supervisors, it can be difficult for the project managers, it can be difficult for the team members. So it called for a lot of tough conversations, um, quality conversations, more towards the coaching kind of a spectrum. To whenever you're kind of touching on behavioral items, it's not that easy, right? I mean, people come with their own patterns, they come with their own belief system, and it's very difficult to have those kind of conversations. Never easy, and not everybody is very open about taking feedbacks and things like that. So going through that process of dealing with those kind of team members, trying to coach them through this, and making resolving conflicts, and easing out the tension within the team, at achieving whatever had to be achieved within the timeline, was a very heartwarming experience, a learning experience for all of us through the project. So I personally felt that as a leader, if you're emotionally more, plugged in, more sensitive and understanding, and you have that EQ going on, it always helps you navigate through different kind of challenges. End of the day, technology is technology, but people working on in in the technology are humans, and they have emotions. So if we know ourselves better, we can understand others better and probably communicate better and resolve conflicts effectively.
So this calls for the leader to not just be a person who is good at, creating project plans and budgets and making sure the project is on track. There's a, you're dealing with human beings. They're not machine parts. Even machines need oiling and lubrication and all of that, maintenance. It calls for the leaders to develop more skills around human beings, understanding different personality types, understanding how to reach different types of people, uh, and how to talk to them and how to motivate them and how to handle their fears and their scripts, etc. And you introduced an interesting word here. It's not about telling them what to do, but what you're saying is it's more in the coaching space, and coaching those leaders into coaching those team members into doing things. Now, I mean, I'm going a little off script here, but uh, as teams, people, you have HR policies, you have performance reviews, and you have all of these different things that you know help you have some kind of control over the organization and the working of the organization and the people. uh, Now, how do people introduce these behavioral things or these skills around leadership, developing these skills in policies? Because a lot of the IT leaders that you talk about, I have an IT background too, and I know I had to develop certain skills in myself. But for me, everything is logic. If this, then this, else this. But and things and systems work with a flow chart, right? Like the logic and the code that we're putting inside, and it's predictable. And if it's not predictable, that means it's a bug that I can go and fix. But when I carry that same mindset to people and teams, it doesn't work. So how can, at a policy level, how can like leaders develop more of these? Not I won't say policy level, but as a leadership requirement level and as a leadership upskilling level, what can leaders do to develop these coaching skills?
Very early on in my career, when I had started leading people, I had never liked the word managing human resources, because materials can be managed, commodities can be managed. Human beings are intelligent, spiritual beings, and you can cherish them, nourish them, nurture them, guide them, coach them. But I have always felt that managing is a pretty kind of harsh kind of a word around resources, human resources. So that's one of the things which drew me towards learning more softer skills like coaching and getting certified as a coach. That was one thing which was very, very important for me, because as you rightfully said, people who are in the space of technology are usually very analytical in nature. They come from a STEM background, and a very few kind of have this psychology or softer skill kind of an experience from either it could be knowledge or practice or anything like that. So it is extremely important to really understand that the world is changing. The newer generation, the typical very conservative kind of managing resources or managing people and things like that, it's definitely not going to work. And I think it has become very evident in the past years itself, with the millennials coming in, with the new generation Z coming in. It's just we just have to do, in order to be better leaders, we have to really understand what is the need of the hour. Change is the only thing that's constant. So really understanding what's needed the day of the hour is to be able to understand that, see, the newer kids coming out of the block or out of the universities, you every day the technology is exploding and they are learning so many new things. When they come in, they're expecting that then they cannot work effectively in an archaic kind of an environment, and we expect them to be extremely productive, efficient, and effective. It's just not going to happen. So it's extremely important to understand what's needed from a leadership standpoint. And to your point, I think organizations do recognize this, and they are altering their leadership development programs and executive coaching programs and things like that to incorporate a lot of these softer skills. Of course, skills geared more towards emotional intelligence, because they are a must for a leader. They are a must for a leader.
Right, right. Thank you for sharing that. And at the East Coast certification program, we've had a few people who came in, not just to become coaches, but we had leaders like yourself, coming in and joining the program to become a certified coach. And I asked them, do you want to set up a coaching practice? Do you want to moonlight as a coach? Do you want to give up what you're doing and, set up your own
Hmm.
gig? And they were like, no, I just want to be a better leader.
Sure.
I want to get better. I want to be a coaching leader, and I see a lot of people joining our program for that. Another question I have here is, when we're talking about empathy, emotional intelligence, connecting to people, it's a feminine quality. I mean, we all have masculine and feminine qualities in us. Men have both, and we have both, and it's just that females tend to have more feminine qualities, men have more masculine qualities, but we do all have feminine and masculine qualities. Now, there was this whole, when we used to have the factory managers, when the whole industrialization,
Hmm.
it was it was a lot of masculine energy as a leader that was needed on the shop floor on getting things done, and that carried over to the admin side of things, the office and sales and marketing side of things too. And as you're saying, times are changing, and we have millennials, we have Gen Z, and then this whole IT revolution that has happened. Uh, but people who are still, and there are still older books around that kind of leadership, and it's still influencing us. But so what happens is a lot of people view this whole space of emotional intelligence and empathy as learning all of that is like you're becoming a softie, and being soft or being overly sensitive as a leader. But finally the bottom line is important, etc. So how does one strike a balance between, and being that tough, having that the masculine energy also is important in leadership, because it drives things, and we need the balance of feminine also. So how do you strike a balance between being emotionally intelligent and making tough result driven decisions as a leader?
You're so right, because the perception has always been that women, oh, they won't be able to kind of play the tough role, and they won't be able to, it's been there, it's there, and we are slowly getting there from a statistic standpoint. Women are kind of getting there slowly, reaching to the C-suite, and still the statistics, it shows that by 2060 there will be equality. I think we need to really kind of raise up and do more of this. But I totally understand. Yes, and the perception generally is that if the person is emotionally extremely intelligent, they are empathetic, they are understanding. Probably they are not a tough leader and they won't be able to get the job done. While we really have to understand that being emotionally intelligent does not mean that you're not a result oriented or outcome oriented or result driven leader. Being able to completely segregate the emotion from the actual decision or a problem, being able to very clearly objectively analyzing the issue, being able to have those tough conversations in a gentle manner, yet in an effective manner, is what kind of truly differentiates a good leader from not so good leader, right? So the result speaks for itself. So you can still, you can be a gentle person, you can kind of communicate effectively, you can be empathetic, but the result eventually shows what needs to be done needs to be done. My role constantly calls for me to say no to my customers, because there are bazillion tools sprouting up in the industry, that, and I specialize in human resource information systems. So I work with a lot of stakeholders, and there is a lot of marketing going on and a lot of artificial intelligence geared up tools they all hear about, and they want to buy those in the organization. So there are a lot of times, many times, my job is to go and say no to them. How do I say no to them? Data driven, right? Being very objective about it, getting the facts right, being very clear. A calmer mind is a clear mind. That's where I go back to understanding yourself. When you really understand yourself, when you understand your triggers, you can actually communicate better. You can, kind of really understand where the person is coming from, and you can actually connect with them in a proper manner when you're able to do that in a nice manner. So that's one. Another thing which I have really felt that a good leader in this current world, which is full of contradictions, which is complex, which is evolving every day. It's not that simple. A good leader need to have that very solid understanding of paradoxical thinking. When I say paradoxical thinking, a good example will be confident humility. A person can be absolutely confident, still humble. Gentle aggression. You can be absolutely gentle, but still be assertive and aggressive on what is the right thing and what needs to be done from a decision, standpoint. You can be completely committed but still detached to a particular solution, because whenever you go with a practical solution in a corporate setup or whatever, you always have multiple options, right? So you can still be very analytical in nature, present what's needed from a data driven standpoint, and still not be, how should I say, emotionally vested into one particular solution or the other. You can give the option to your customer to choose the right option for them. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's extremely important to be able to kind of reflect that paradoxical thinking in your leadership. And Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2 beautifully explains it. When Arjuna asks Krishna, explain to me who is the sthita pragya, right? So Krishna clearly says, right? So sanniyam yendriya gramam, a person who has a good control of all his senses, right? And then sarvatra samabuddhaya, right? Where you are not swayed away either by success or by setback. You're kind of completely centered, and nothing can be a better leadership advice than that, actually. Aspire to be a sthita pragya. Get your facts right, be empathetic, be understanding, but detach your emotions from the decisions. Be very objective about things and communicate better. It's not what you say; it's about how you say, right? So so I think a combination of all those things will help um, establish the reputation of not being whether not being soft or not is not the question. I believe whether you're a result oriented or a outcome driven leader or not. I think that speaks for itself when you're able to follow all these principles, I believe.
So the key is to be able to handle the paradoxes
Yes,
and
yes,
the seemingly opposite things, but they're not opposites because they're contributing to the same goal. The goal
yes,
of uh, the company, whatever the company goals are, or whatever the value goals are for the
yes.
company and for your own self, and to be able to handle that. And it's, as you said, it's there in the Bhagavad Gita. So thank you for introducing that as well. Now, talking about the sthita pragya,
Hmm.
yeah, it's the sthita pragya shika bhasha, that shloka, and then
Sure.
what the answer that Krishna gives, and you talked about being balanced and to be able to see everything but make the right decision. What advice do you have for emerging leaders? You're an experienced leader, and you've done a lot of you come with your own samskaras as a leader, as a person, that have helped you in your leadership, and plus you have gained a lot of skills and experience along the way, and a lot of education also in from different places. Now, what advice do you have for emerging leaders, emerging tech leaders, new to the space, trying to like fully analytical, and then they're going for this? Should they get coaching for themselves to get better with their emotional quotient, or should they like get a coach certification to learn better skills at coaching? Like, what pathways and any other pathways do you have to suggest for them?
Absolutely. I think what I would like to tell some of the new leaders would be, first of all, understand yourself. In order for you to understand yourself, I personally feel that there are only two states of being: either you're continuously improving or you're constantly declining. There is no other in betweens other than the two. So it is extremely important to be very conscious of the fact that you have to take efforts to continuously improve, and that will happen only when you're learning constantly. So I would definitely encourage all of the leaders to be very much um, you know very serious about investing on learning on the and understanding themselves, doing a lot of inner work, diving deeper. And I have to mention this. I am a certified coach from eSchool, and I've been absolutely amazed by the content that you have curated, Namitaji. The wonderful amalgamation of the Western philosophies and the Eastern wisdom, and how to manage your emotions, right? All the leaders have to really understand that. How we first understand ourselves, how we manage our emotions. And secondly, that really helps you understand how you can become better. Communicators, because once you understand yourself, you know your triggers and you know how to handle situations better. So that's the only way you can become a better communicator. Because personally, I feel that as a leader, you need to have a lot of integrity. And a good leader is respected when they are transparent, when they walk their talk and things like that, right? And when you have all of that, you kind of become an inspirational and a motivational leader for the people. And how you achieve that is truly by understanding yourself, actually. So you have to get to a point where you need to get help. You need to be in a space where you can bounce off your ideas, you can get actual good feedback on yourselves. You have to be open to looking at your own improvement areas and things like that. So all leaders have to invest on their self learning and self improvement for sure, and being open to getting feedback from people and working on those. I think those are some of the very, very important things. I would definitely recommend all leaders to get coached. And I've been very lucky through my career. I've had wonderful mentors, coaches, not just from a professional standpoint, also in personal, spiritual realm. I've had wonderful coaches and mentors who have helped me through the life. And I'm pretty sure each one of us, we need a mirror to look at yourself. We cannot see our back ourselves, right? So we need somebody to be there and help us through this journey of evolution and improvement.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So, investing in themselves is going to bring them the results that they seek, because a lot of people I see that they want to invest in learning the skills that you've mentioned, but then they are like, oh, I'm too busy, oh, this is expensive, or this is time consuming. But what they fail to see is that if they invest and if they want to go on that track of growth and leadership growth, and when they invest in themselves, they're actually in line for, because they're exuding that confident leadership and that empathic leadership and that good integral leadership with integrity, they stand out and they actually get those promotions and those career growth paths also. But somehow people fail to see the connections sometimes in these softer aspects. I see that a lot of them are, the techies especially, are very happy getting a PMP certification or a Sun certificate, Java certification, or a Microsoft certification, because they see a direct correlation there. But somehow these softer things, and we have to find a way to inspire them to see that connection and that growth. So Anuji, you're also going to be in the, your. It's an honor to have you as a teamies coach in the Dallas Ease Infinity event that we are hosting. All of us are hosting together November 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and we're inviting a lot of leaders also to be a part of that event. Uh, do you have any like you've chosen to be part of this, you've chosen to support this endeavor? Do you have, like, how do you think the event, that the way we're designing it, the curriculum and the different things out there, how do you think the event can benefit those leaders in enhancing their leadership skills?
Yes. I'm absolutely excited about the event. This event is going to be a lifetime opportunity for people, and how it's going to benefit leaders is going to benefit them immensely, because they will get an opportunity to meet with different people with whom they can absolutely resonate. They're all people, they're all leaders right there, trying to get to a point where they are a better version of themselves. They're ready to invest time on themselves. They're trying to get geared up for the next, level of growth and upgradation, I would call. So it's not just learning so many tools and techniques which they can add to their skill set to become a better leader and be an impactful leader. At the same time, they get to create a beautiful network there. They get to make friends there with whom they can keep in touch. It's a lifelong kind of a wonderful relationship you build where you can really look up to learning from each other and continue to grow and evolve through this process. So it's very rare that you get to meet with people who have similar interests and who are truly, when you resonate in your thought and mind with people, it's something which is a very, very rare event. And then I'm sure the content is going to be so enriching, and they get to learn so many different things. And when they go back with a lot of action items, tools, and techniques which they can actually implement in their lives. So I think it'll be an amazing opportunity for them. See, if a person is a good leader, they do know that. You want to give the best to the world out there, right? You don't want to give just what's left of you. So, this is the place where you come, rejuvenate, replenish, learn a lot of new things so that you're always a good leader, trying to be a good leader, right? Giving the best to the world around you. So, I think that's this opportunity. Very rare ones. I would encourage everybody to attend this event. I'm really, really excited about this event, and I'm hoping you're going to put all the details in the descriptions below, right, Namita ji?
Yes, it's already there. Wherever they're watching, the event details are there in the description. Yes. A lot of people are not, there are a lot of online courses, a lot of
Sure.
Zoom things happening,
Mm.
and that is good. But there are some people who don't have the time or the patience for that, or who are not looking at a discovery process, but they're like, tell me the exacting process. And coming to the event, I think some may see it as like, oh, it's a time investment. I don't know if I have that weekend. It's November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 3rd, we start on the evening, 4th, full day, and then 5th is a half day so that you can all have a good Monday the next day, Sunday, right? And I think this helps people because not everyone is a course person, where they do the online course themselves. And, but this is an opportunity, as you said, you come there and we have a fantastic team of coaches, including Anuji here. And also we have Bharati ji and Pritu ji around. In that thing. So you're going to get a lot of personalized attention, a lot of exclusive attention from the coaches, accomplished coaches, and you're going to get quick answers for whatever is going on inside of you. It's not going to be a separate thing. Um, so what does it get too tight for leaders to attend a weekend event like that, Anuji, from your
Well,
experience?
well, from my experience, whenever we have a leadership meeting, we always try to make it offsite, in person, away, and we try to get the leaders out of their normal realm, their home. So we always do that at least twice a year. So this is actually all the leaders do know that, because that's where you can literally go bond with your peers, really try to kind of think out of the box and try to learn and equip yourself to be that actual great leader, to go back and give that kind of an energy to your team and the people. So there is no comparison of an on-site event and a Zoom event or an online event. And for leaders, I think a good leader will definitely understand and would recommend and would actually look forward to an event like this, because this is how I think all the organizations do that. Whenever you have a leadership meeting, it's always offsite and it's away from your normal routine, because that way, you don't get carried away by your normal day job, the in and out. So you are kind of taken away from your normal place, and then you're kind of given all that information that you need to get. And that's when you really start thinking and learning more, actually.
Yeah, we sent out an email campaign recently and we said,
Okay.
unplug from your karma bhumi.
Absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
when you're stuck in your daily
Yeah.
action, you can't think out of the box. Please
Yeah.
come join us in Dallas. Even if you live in Dallas, it's still going to unplug you from the karma bhumi because it's a unique event
Yeah.
where we're bringing in Eastern philosophy along with Western psychology and
Yes.
helping people in leading their own lives, leading their own families, leading their organization. Um, Thank you so much, Anu
So
ji, for
welcome.
being here. It's always so nice to chat with you and talk to you. I have like this attraction for you, but
It's
we need
likewise.
we need to close the session. So, do you have any closing words for the audience on anything that you would like the audience to know and talk about or think about in their lives?
Absolutely. I just wanted to add one more thing. When we talked about offsite leadership meetings, one of the things which we definitely keep offsite is planning for the next year, goal planning, and things like that. This is an absolute opportunity for them to come and plan for a wonderful next year where they can go ahead and, start off with their new goals and priorities and upskill themselves. So, really look forward to meeting a lot of wonderful leaders in this session, and I'm looking forward to the event. Thank you for giving the opportunity, and thanks for having me, Namitaji. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here, and we'll do some more of these. There's a lot of
Sure.
wisdom from so many years of experience that I think the audience is going to benefit massively. So we'll try to do this more often with you. Thank you.
Would love that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So it was wonderful to be with Anuji here and talk about so many wonderful insights that she shared about emotional intelligence in leadership, about paradoxical thinking, about balancing the human element with the decision making that needs to be done, and also bringing in the spiritual side. And of course, seeing Anuji as a coach, as a speaker at the Ease Infinity event in Dallas. And hope to see you there. We're inviting all leaders, all those people who want to invest in themselves and make 2024 their year. So it's a great time to start planning for what you want to do and have enough time to set up your execution steps and join us in Ease Infinity Dallas. And we've called it Infinity because we all have infinite potential within us. We're all invested with infinite potential, but we're blocked by our own thoughts, by our own, intelligence sometimes. So come tap into your infinite potential with me, Anuji, other Team East coaches, and the wonderful attendees that are going to be there, and your own wonderful self, because you're going to get this space, as she mentioned, to get this whole mental space to actually tap into that infinite intelligence that lies within you. So I look forward to seeing you soon, November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Yes, I'm making that trip and I'm really excited to meet everyone there and to serve everyone there. And thank you so much. Bye bye.